Welcome to the Rotary Club of Martinsburg podcast, where service meets community. I'm your host, Kevin Brackens, and I'm going to connect you with the people, stories, and projects that are making a difference here in West Virginia and beyond. At the Rotary Club of Martinsburg, we believe in service above self. Each week, we'll dive into conversations with local leaders, volunteers, and change makers who are driving positive change in our community. From community initiatives to global efforts, we're here to inform, inspire, and engage. This conversation is made possible by Brackens Painting. Brackens Painting is the region's best residential and commercial painting company. When schedule and quality count on Brackens. We've got you covered. Chastity, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Today we're going to talk about the Spring Mills Satellite Rotary. This is a mouthful. Spring Mills Satellite Rotary Ready, Set, Glow 5K Fun Run and Tot Trot.
Yes, I'm very excited.
How did this program come to be?
So it was a vision from the Satellite Club that we wanted to have our first fundraiser, and we set a goal of raising $5,000. So we kind of brainstormed some things that we could do to raise $5,000, and we came up with several different variations of a 5K and settled on a glow run.
$5,000 for the year or $5,000 in one event?
Our goal was $5,000 by the end of the year, so which translated to this one event because it's the only thing that we have. Gotcha.
Well, it's only September at this point, so you have more time. But as a former race director and not a fundraiser, I was never good at getting sponsors. When I think of trying to raise $5,000 for a 5K, it's a hardcore number to come up with. But
yes.
We'll talk about your success here in a minute. But when is the date of the event?
So the date is October 12th. It is going to be registration starts at 5:30. Run time starts at 7 p.m. because it is a glow run. So it's going to be at night.
Nice. The location?
We are going to be at the Spring Mills School Complex. So the race start actually on the track at the Spring Mills High School. We'll loop the campus all the way down to the elementary school twice, and we'll finish with a victory lap on the track.
On the track. Very good. Now, Rotary is basically a clearinghouse for raising money for charity. What charity do you have in mind for this event?
We identified Berkeley County Parks and Rec, specifically the new Spring Mills Park. We had Joe Burton, the executive director of the Martinsburg Parks and Rec, come in and give us a presentation about the development of the new Spring Mills Park. And in that conversation, it came up there were some items that they didn't have the budget yet for the park. So as a club, we thought, well, that's a no-brainer. We can raise money for them. It's something that supports our local community. It supports a fabulous organization in Martinsburg and Berkeley County. So that's how we identified who was going to be the beneficiary of the race.
Are you able to speak to, I guess, like when you're donating money to a charity, you can set aside, but do you think you know what the money would go towards? What part of the park?
We have identified two key things, park benches and trash cans. And I know that sounds little and simple, but they were things that they just didn't have the budget for. So those are the two items that we've identified. And then anything additional, they have the discretion. They really have the discretion to use the money how they see fit. But that was two items that we knew that they needed that we could contribute to.
That's great. And I know you're not Joe Burton, but what is that park going to look like? What is the initial vision of it?
So the vision is actually on our Run sign up page. We were able to get a graft of the park, a drawing. And so that is on our Run sign up page so that when people are registering, they can see directly the goal and what we're trying to support.
Great. And so what happens at a glow run?
Glow runs are really fun. Obviously, it's happening at night. So our goal is to have everyone who registers will get a glow packet with glow-in-the-dark bracelets, necklaces, our t-shirt. It's not glow-in-the-dark, but we're going to have black lights.
Blacklight sponsored by Brackens Painting.
Yes, I was going to get to our sponsorships too. So the goal is to have like a photo booth with black lights and a face painting station with glow in the dark paint and
Cool.
have lights along the route. And so really just fun. It is not a competitive event. We purposely chose not to make it a competitive event because it is benefiting a children's park. We wanted it to be as family friendly as possible. We want everyone to come and have a good time. So it doesn't matter if you walk it or run it or you bring your stroller. Everyone is welcome. And it really is just an opportunity to do something unique and different and give back.
I know as a race director in this region, specifically in the 5K things, I did quite a bit in Jefferson County. I wasn't a very aggressive promoter, and I always found that if I had between 75 and 100 people, that was a fiscally responsible event. We got our bills paid and maybe made a little bit of money for a charity. And back then we raised money for ourselves as a running organization to kind of give back in one way or another. What would you consider would be well, I guess you can just jump to it. What would you consider a successful event when it comes to participants or money raised?
I think we're already a successful event.
Just tell us why. I'm so excited for this part.
Okay, so we have already, within the first couple weeks, raised $4,000.
That is absolutely amazing.
That's in sponsorship. That doesn't include our in-kind sponsors, such as Brackens Painting, who they're donating black lights for the event. We have State Farm, who's donating the swag bags. We have, so many. We have a farmer's market that's donating post-race apples. So that doesn't even include what people have offered to give to support the race.
That's the power of Rotary. It's such a great organization for finding a way to have organized give back to the community.
Yes. It's the power of Rotary, and it's the power of choosing a beneficiary that does give back. It's a matter of what you believe in, and who can say no to a children's park?
And most people don't realize the Parks Department, I believe, is a nonprofit.
It is a nonprofit.
Yeah,
yes.
It's funded by the county or the cities, but not in the way that they need. So donations are crucial.
Yes.
Let's talk about participants. It's really hard to get a 5K off the ground popularity-wise. There's competing events in the same weekend.
Yes.
You're dealing with the weather potential, all these sort of challenges. In your mind's eye, what would you consider the number of people you'd be happy with to participate?
I mean, we have a lofty vision. It would be great to have 100 to 150 participants, but we have already decided as a committee, we're prepared to have 50 or we're prepared to have 150. We know that the first year is always tough. We have several competing events for that day, but it ended up being the best day.
I totally agree, by the way. It's evening, family-centric. I don't think if you put those two together, it's not competing with much at all. So like your timing, your date. And I know that one of the things that I may have tried to inspire you guys with was make sure this is at least a 3-year event, because year 3 is when you really knock it out of the park.
Yes. And that's our goal.
Good.
We want to keep it as an annual event. We want to pick a charity every year. We will probably always choose Martinsburg, Berkeley County Parks and Rec. That will always be one of the people that we support. And then we'll pick another nonprofit in the area. But our goal is to keep the 5K, but also to grow it. We really want to bring something to the Spring Mills community that we don't have, because there's no center there. There's no hub, no main street. So how can we create something for the Spring Mills residents? So our goal is to turn it into a fall festival where we have different activities and vendors and food and just really grow it. And then we have the 5K.
And what's neat is if you establish a great relationship with the schools there, the ability to use their facilities, if you're able to show them respect, if you're able to leave the property clean, have a safe event, and find a way to kind of thank them also for their allowing you to use that facility. Because for the longest time in Jefferson County, we were never allowed to use the school property. So it's amazing that you're able to pull that off. That does and will sustain a long-term event. And it's right. It's community involvement. It's community development by bringing people together and that sort of stuff. I love that vision. But let's get to the part where who came up with the 5K idea? Who inspired it? And then did it compete with any other sort of event options?
It really didn't compete with any other event options. Ray Visconti, who's the chair of the Spring Mill Satellite Club, came up with the idea of doing a 5K. I believe that was who originated the idea. I worked with Dana DeJarnette, who's a member of the Noon Rotary Club, and she suggested, or she had mentioned in passing, a glow run, and I really ran with that idea because at the inception, it was going to be a color run, but the Martinsburg Berkeley County Parks and Rec was hosting a color run in August. So we didn't want to compete with them, obviously, because our goal is to support them. So what could we do differently? So the idea of doing a glow run was really appealing because it is different, it is unique, and it's a lot of fun. And you can get really creative with it. So Ray came up with the idea for the 5K. I ran with the glow run, and then the committee just loved the idea. And when you love an idea, you start to become really passionate about it. So it sparked a lot of passion within our 5K planning committee. So it was really great.
Tell me about the committee. I'm on it sort of as a consultant, but there's quite a few strong personalities with good backgrounds and experience. Tell me about some of the committee members and how they're able to contribute, as well as use this answer as a way to recruit volunteers to help for next year's committee.
Yes, absolutely. Volunteers to help with next year's committee, volunteers to help with this year's color run. We can get into that. So our committee, we really looked at what are the key areas of a 5K and then broke our committees down. So we have marketing and sponsorship, which is myself, Tim Hott, Dana Phelps. We have volunteer coordination and registration, which is Matt Stickle and Mike Dowdell. And then we have finance, who's Matt Stickle, and then Ray Visconti. So we overlap each other on our kind of subcommittees a bit, but that's our core team. We also have you, and we have Dana DeJarnette, who you're acting as our consultant, and your feedback has really been invaluable to us because
just trying to help.
Our committee, we took on this 5K, and none of us had experience with a 5K. None of us have organized a 5K. We just had the vision. So having two people on our committee that had the experience, and just kind of, you're our guardrails, really.
Totally, I get it.
You're our guardrails on this road of life, and keeping us going in the right direction.
Well, I'm impressed. I love what you're doing. I haven't had much to offer because of how well organized you guys are.
Thank you.
And because everything from the guys on the volunteer side to the guys in the finance side and the market, all of it is super squared away.
Thank you.
And to have that strong of a team putting on a fight. Before it was just me and a couple buddies, like just some goons putting on a 5K, and it was successful events. But your event should stand the test of time because of that commitment that the committee has. How would one get involved?
Reach out to us on our Facebook page, Spring Mill Satellite Rotary Club. Our event is posted on that page, so go out and like the event, check it out. The link to Run Sign Up is on there. If you go to Run Sign Up, you can find us there. It's the Ready, Set, Glow fun run. On the sign up page, there's a link for volunteers. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can sign up to be a volunteer. We would love to have you. We would love to have you as a participant as well.
And then what's the approximate, and the price range changes as time goes by, but what is the price range of the event?
So our goal was to keep it really inexpensive because we want it to be family friendly and affordable. So for students, anyone under 18, it's $20.
Wonderful.
And for adults, it's $25. And that ultimately is covering our cost of shirts, swag bags, things like that. Price increases, I believe, around the 15th of September. But to guarantee a t-shirt, you have to be registered by October 1st. So if you want that special glow-in-the-dark Ready, Set, Glow t-shirt, it's October 1st. But prices increase September 15th.
That's great. What have I missed? Oh, we didn't talk about the challenges. What challenges did you have as you went down this pathway to start a 5K? Anything specific stand out that was like finding a venue, finding a date? What were the top two? Like, man, I thought this would be easier.
Finding a date, I think, was by far the hardest thing because there's always something else going on. So it was really we had to find a date that worked best for Spring Mills High School because we're using their track and field. Right. So we narrowed it down to the 12th. And then it was, okay, does that work for Berkeley County using DuPont soccer fields? Because there was coordination with Parks and Rec on because they were willing to move games around to accommodate us. So the date was by far the hardest challenge. And then once we got that narrowed down, it's really been smooth sailing. I think our next big, I won't say obstacle, but our next big focus is registration. So we're about 43 days away. So I think that's going to be our next focus and challenge is how do we create more interest? How do we get more people registered?
Drive people to the event. I love that. Are you prepared without notes to rattle off some sponsors?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me about some of them.
So CMC Steel, WVU Medicine, CNB Bank, State Farm. We had two separate State Farm agents who have donated. Tracy Regalia at Edward Jones, Michelle Sadat at Advocacy Insurance. Please forgive me for anyone I'm forgetting. A to Z Insurance.
But they're all posted on the website.
They are all posted on the run sign up. Sorry, I didn't have notes. So
I asked her if she wanted notes before we started. She's like, I got this.
I don't need notes. I know. Panhandle Builders.
Wonderful.
A lot of great, and I'm sure I'm missing a few.
The community's really come together to support this.
It's been fantastic.
There's two paths that producing a 5K can take. One, you can say, okay, look, we're going to go hard at finding sponsors and keep the event more affordable.
And that was our goal.
Right. The other pathway is say, well, we're probably not going to get that many sponsors because it's a new event. So we have to raise the prices to really raise money to make money beyond what the cost of the event is because they're surprisingly expensive to run. I mean, it really is surprising when it comes to all the deliverables. And then hopefully at some point, some of the budget you can hold on to make next year even better.
Yes. More
materials, more pomp and circumstance.
Yes.
Chastity, thank you for explaining how this process went, and I love the fact that we got to promote this special program.
Thank you. Please join us. We would love to have you. Anyone who's watching.
Website again?
Find us on Facebook. We are the Spring Mill Satellite Club. If you go to martinsburgrotary.com, you can also find a link to us there.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.